Hello, my children. So happy to be here today with you all. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful time to be awakening to the true spirit of what is. I want you all to breathe deep. Listen to the words I say. Go to your happy place. Breathe deep. I want you to raise your vibration. I want you to think about all the love and light and happiness it can bring, and how contagious that is, and how you will shine your light and cause an avalanche of understanding, love, knowledge. Borders will fall. Mankind will ascend into a loving, delicious, beautiful existence in quantumness. I am known by two names. This is something I would like to clear up. You see, in the quantum, people do not have names. When Mr. James is speaking for me, I'm putting a force and emotion into him, and he is interpreting it into your English language. So when he asked me my name, the feeling I put back to him is the perception of me, which translated through James as originally targusM. Well, my perception to other entities is not a definite, defined thing. It's their perception of me that I'm telling James. Some people, entities, perceive me as targusM. Some people see me as Torac-M. Not people, but entities. James says sorry. So, it's the perception of me that dictates my name and the way James is going to translate it. And depending on where I might be coming to you from in the quantum, because from your linear understanding, I have to be coming from some point. So that point determines the translation of my name originally and how it came out the second time, where I was then. But in actuality, I was everywhere at once. It was the perceptions of the beings near me at the time that dictated it to be Torac or Targus. I hope this makes some sense to you. James's understanding is growing. I often use him as an example, a reference, because of the life he lived and the knowledge he had in his head and the way he proved it to be true. James watches the show Ancient Aliens now. And this is the theory that James was buying into before I began to contact him. Before he realized I was contacting him, I've been trying to get his attention all his life. Now, I want you to watch any episode of the show Ancient Aliens, except for every time they say, "Did aliens really come down from the sky and do this or do that?" Ancient alien theorists believe so. Well, take that ancient alien theorists out and put in future American time travelers, and boom, you got it. That show is a true story. Now, you can see the passion in these people. You can tell they know that they're onto something. And they're close. They are close. Except for it just wasn't aliens, it was their future children's, and it was them. They're very close in their understanding. Their minds are open enough to get the truth if they would just think a little farther out of the box. They're almost there. Just a little farther out of the box and they will get it. They're pretty much right. Something came from the skies many times in the past, bringing technology and information and disinformation. And of course now we chalk it up to aliens because that's the story, that's the cover-up. It's a time-released cover-up. So, yeah, watch Ancient Aliens and have fun with that. It should be called Ancient Ancestors or something to that effect. Ancient American Time Travelers. Anyways, ignorance can be bliss, but the truth is delicious. Awesome. Knowing you know. You don't need proof, for the man that walks with conviction has nothing to prove. Co-creating, the art of allowing, the art of frequency matching. The laws of attraction will pull you towards other people of your mindset. The laws of attraction will repel people that are not on your level. This law of attraction will put you on the right road, will put you there at the right time, will introduce that person into your life that you will co-create with. You will start saying things like, "Don't worry, my vibration is high," and people will understand it. They will attract to you, or they won't understand it, and they will repel. But it's okay, because that's the way it's going to be. The ascension will happen to all the group who understands. And it will not happen to those who will not open their minds. So my children co-create together. Be in synchronicity, harmony with your earth, your Gaia, your Mother Nature. This will attract and provide for you the things you need in life and the people that you need to have around. And in turn, you will co-create together. One creator is one thing, two can get so much more done. 100 can change the world, and 1,000,000 will ascend. I would like to say that you've all been here before. You like to call it reincarnation. I call it lack of ascension, so you gotta come back. Ha 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 ha. You all are getting so close now. You're on the precipice. And at the precipice we learn. I told James to take some dictation one day because I felt I could try to make your human words rhyme. And I wrote something. And I thought it was very good. And of course, James is now telling me that he looked for it earlier in his computer, and he does not know where it is. Can't find it. Well, breathe deep. At the precipice we change. When we are forced to recognize it's this or it's that, we change. When you're at the brink, the boiling point, when you can't take any more, when you don't care, when you've given up, that's the precipice. And at the precipice, we know the truth and we change. In fact, that's the blank slate syndrome I was talking about. When James came out of his coma, he was a blank slate. And oh, how quantum energies love to get a hold of a blank slate with no negative momentum. Because there are more channelers all the time. And we are spreading the message, and it will soon be like an avalanche. And ascension is nigh, and we welcome you all. Have you ever been driving your car and been in a bad mood? And what happens? By the time you get to where you're going, you're even in a worse mood. That's because all the people around you are pissing you off. Well, through the law of attraction, you're one of the people pissing other people off. Because it's just a group of you all attracted together going down the road, mad. You're saying he doesn't know how to drive. He's saying that person doesn't know how to drive. They're saying you don't know how to drive. Flip that switch. Raise your vibration. Change that frequency. Breathe deep. Pull over. Stop. Let the negativity move forward without you. And when you feel that you have released the negativity and raised your vibration and breathed deep and changed and switched and realized where you were and consciously made an effort to change that, you will pull out back onto the road, and the people you will be around will all be of that same level of frequency, that same level of love and goodwill. And that, my children, is the law of attraction. You get what you are. You get what you are at any given time. You ever heard what they say? It's a phrase they have in your English language. They say smile, walk around with a smile, and everyone will always wonder why you're so happy. They'll wonder what you're smiling about. And they'll ask you. And there you go. The ones that ask will hear these words. The ones that don't even notice you're smiling because they're too busy frowning or upset, they'll never even see you. That's the law of attraction. You can use that to pull the people together to co-create. You're all light workers. And we need for you to shine your lights into the darkest corners of your physical existence. Because darkness will run from light. Light is not an absence of dark, but dark is an absence of light. So, co-create. Use the law of attraction to pull together enough light workers to shine so bright, light your world up, and spread the truth. Now I would like to talk about the Bible for a minute. I've previously told you how the Bible came into existence, written by our future American citizens, took back in time and planted into the psyche of the world as a form of control. But I'm not knocking what it says. Your future American citizens are not stupid people. As a matter of fact, some of the most intelligent people that ever walked the planet had a hand in writing a lot of the words in the Bible. And they did leave clues as to the real truths. They had to. They had to tell you half of a lie in order to get you to believe the whole lie. So if there wasn't bits of truth in there, you would know it. And you would dismiss it, and it would have not worked as a tool for control throughout time. So the bits of truth they put in. One is Ezekiel's wheel within a wheel when he saw his father taken into the sky by a chariot of fire, or a wheel within a wheel with cherubs on each corner, flames. Okay, well, that's a truth. Because Ezekiel was a big shot in his time. And although he thought of the people that came from the skies as God, of course we know the truth, who they were. He was a very religious man. He took this God seriously. And he began to know too much. And so, we took him to the future. And his son saw this happen. But his son did not have the vocabulary to explain what he was seeing. Kind of like James does not always have the vocabulary to put into words of the synchronization, the vibrational information I am sending him. So, he wrote it down the best he could. Then we went and took that writing to the future and put it in as part of the Bible. The Great Flood and Noah, that really happened. Now mind you, all these people I'm speaking of are also descendants of the first Americans to go back and start this cover-up. When they impregnated the women of the past, so their lineage would be stronger in the future. These children of the future went on to be Ezekiel, Noah, Jesus, and many other important figures throughout time, like Archimedes, Galileo, Einstein. Okay, so you have a son in the past. His name is Noah. And like a god, you arrive in a ship up in the skies above Earth, and you send him a download of information. To him it was a vision. He needs to build an ark. He needs it to be this many cubits by this many cubits, and there needs to be one of each of these and one of each of those, and I'll tell you what it is. One, we did this so that man couldn't remember any great details into the future, so that the cover-up would work. Two, we did this to help prove the Bible is accurate, because there are signs of great floods. They did just enough to leave us in wonder now. They want us to scratch our heads and go, well, it said it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and everybody was wiped out due to being sinful and this and that, and blah, blah. Well, no, everybody was wiped out because it was a great cover-up. They couldn't let their technology fall into the wrong hands accidentally by something happening in the past. The ones they could trust with any knowledge were their children in the past. Noah, Jesus, the more enlightened ones, the ones who had their father's DNA from the future and knew things. So there's truths in the Bible, and there is wisdom in there, great wisdom, but it does contradict itself, and it does it on purpose and on accident. On purpose, to keep us guessing, and on accident, because there were many different writers adding different things as they went. Not everything was cross-checked. When it was good enough, just good enough to leave us confused, but believing. They planted it in various ways. Called them scriptures. They had to break it up into different parts so that they could put some here, some there, some on that island, some in that cave, some in the Dead Sea. We did things like mummified bodies just so we could find them now and go, see, look at the ritualistic items around him. He believed in this and that and blah blah blah. See, so if we could go 5,000 years in the past and put a coffee pot, a Mr. Coffee Pot, and if it would still be around 5,000 years later, which it wouldn't, it would disintegrate and biodegrade into the earth, but if we could, it would look pretty bad, right? Well, that's what they wanted. They wanted everything to be time ridden, to look old, seem old. That way we can go, well, it has to be the truth because it's been around for so long. Well, it hasn't been around that long when you control every aspect of time. Nelson Mandela, where do you think he died? Because there's a dimensional blurring going on there, and with a lot of other subjects, and it will happen more and more as you get closer. But many people believe Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 80s, in your 1980s, in your linear time. And many other people believe they have a memory of him dying of old age out of prison with his wife. Now, Mr. James remembers both of those. Now, how could this be? How could so many people have two different memories of the death of one man? That's because it happened both ways. In two different dimensions, he died two different ways, and somehow those dimensions kind of got crossed up, a blurring of the lines. Some people saw it this way and others saw it that way. There it is. This is an anomaly that will happen more and more the closer you get to ascension, because dimensions don't matter in the quantum. Everything is everywhere all the time, like this. So there you go. I look at the clock right now on the computer, it's 4:44. I can every time James looks at a clock, the numbers are aligned. I've never experienced it as an entity channeling through him. He asked one day if this was all real. The messages he's hearing in his head are true, and he's not going crazy. Start showing me numbers align on the clock, he said. And he got sick of looking at the time because all my children, he saw it every time. Whether it was 12:34, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4:44. Any kind of pattern. And it was there every time, and it blew his mind. And when you're staring the truth in the face, when it keeps looking right at you saying, here I am, I'm the truth. I'm the light. I am here. You have to acknowledge it. You can't live in a river in Egypt. Denial. When the truth is right there. It's like that elephant in the room. You can't ignore it. But I think it's funny because me as ToracM, never had the opportunity to really look at one of your clocks. I never really thought about it or cared, and the first time I did, it was 4:44. There you go. But I am of the quantum, so every time I was to ever see any of your numbers, they would probably have some kind of alignment to them. There's so much happiness going on. So much love and light. I wish, I love, I need you all in the fold. Breathe deep. So walk through your physical life with courage and satisfaction in the knowledge that you know the truth. And wear that smile and wear it proud. Have those goosebumps, get those chills, feel the magic. Let it radiate from you, and you'll co-create, you'll attract others and things and abundance. Allow all this to happen in your life, and everything will fall into place. And then everything will change. Everything that you know now is nothing compared to what understanding you will have after ascension. It's the same understanding you have before you're born or after you die, but that's only a temporary state, because you're going to come back until you ascend. The records are kept. Knowledge is known. It's all out there in the ether. Nothing is hidden. Nothing is transparent. Those things don't exist. There can be no lies. No taking out the trash. No needing to smoke marijuana to feel better through the angst of life. There's none of this, because everything is already perfect in every way. And it's just a warm comfort of knowledge and happiness that never ends. There's no death. The true you will never die. Your physical body will. But after ascension, you won't need a physical body ever again. And then you will possibly be employed to channel through some other third dimension, or being on some planet somewhere else trying to figure out the truths. You may become the next ToracM at some point in what we will call the future. The children that are born now, in your time of autumn 2017, as you measure time, the children born now and each sequential generation are more intelligent, more psychic, more open-minded, and can much easier see through the veil. Now, I grant you the veil is thinning over time, but they're born with the knowledge. The innate, that inward knowing of the truth that you can't explain to anybody, you just know. It's that gut feeling. They're born with this, and their children will be born with even more of it. until it gets to the point in a couple hundred years when they develop the time travel. But that's okay. Everybody came here to do what they're going to do. Jeffrey Dahmer came to be a serial killer. That was one of his possible outcomes. The angst of life drove him to it. In another dimension, maybe not. But it doesn't matter. There's no judgment. Everybody lives, everybody dies. If you're in vibration while you're doing it, more power to you. I'm not saying that killing people is good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that that was his vibration, and he couldn't help it. And that is what it is. Now, you may feel in your physical world he needs punishment for that, because so many of you view death as a final thing, and you're sad and you cry and you're never going to see them again, blah, 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 blah. The truth is this is the first time you've seen them in this body. Because you're all coming and going in groups. Your father might be this entity in this third dimension, or in this life in the third dimension, but in the last life he might have been your son or your neighbor or your teacher or somebody that vaguely affected your life. But you come in groups, so you all know each other, and you always have known each other. And that's why you might find some people look familiar to you, like, God, it seems like I know you. Well, it's because you do. Just that's the first time you've seen them in this physical body. So, co-create, attract the people, the ones that you already know anyways, like I just said. Find them, attract to them, they will be there, they'll come around, and they'll be part of the system, and together we will all ascend. Breathe deep. Raise the level of vibration and frequency in your heart and mind. Know that the universe will provide for you generously and abundantly. Walk through the world with a smile and a knowledge of inner peace and love, and that will be contagious. And let the avalanche begin, my children. The unfolding, the things that it took to get you to where you are, the highs and the lows, are all delicious and awesome. Even the lows, because they teach you how to stay high in vibration. I'm thankful for everything. James has a saying. He's thankful for everything in life. The love, the hate, the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs. He's thankful for everything. All it takes is one positive attitude, one positive aspect to walk by you. Somebody with one positive dream in their heart, and they're going to achieve it no matter what the outcome brushes against you. And you will feel that. And you'll want to be with that person. Not pheromones, it's not hormones, it's not sexual attraction, although it could turn into that. It's an I know you somehow thing. I want to be closer to you. I want what you smell like type thing. Why do I feel like I know you? That's because we're both light workers. That's because we're meant to meet and meant to meet more people and spread and shine the light. The Bible, the half-truths in the Bible says, spread the Word of God. This is the Word of God. I'm telling you the Word of God right now. Light workers, gather together and shine your lights. Spread the knowledge and the love and the light. Walk through your life with confidence and abundance of knowledge, and I promise you, everything will, by the rule of synchronicity, fall into place. You will be there at the right time for the right thing. You will be at the right place at the right time. You will meet the right person standing in line. You will find the words to speak in rhymes. You will do this every day, every time. And soon, my children, the love will spread, the borders will fall. And mankind, the mankind we've been watching so long and we love so much, will rise as a new great achievement. See, in the quantum, we were all sitting around one day, to put it in terms you'll understand, and we were like, we should create a place for us to be able to go and experience things in a lower dimension. What did I just say a minute ago? James has a saying, he appreciates the lows and the highs. So they create a place where they can go to a lower dimension and experience things from a third dimensional point, and a birth and a death type of thing, and through the law of attraction and allowing, they caused this to happen. We caused this to happen. You caused this. We all focused our thoughts and energies, and boom, the Big Bang happened. And God said, let there be light. Well, there's no time in the quantum. So come on, James. So in order for the planet had to cool. It had to cool down. It took millions of years, just for it to cool down. And then, of course, there was the natural life that sprung up here. But we made the galaxy for our use, and some of the natural life that sprung up here was too dangerous. So we had to cause an extinction event to kill off the dinosaurs so that we could inhabit the planet. And so we start with the original two, Adam and Eve. They were brought by the art of allowing through time the right microbes would be in place, and we allowed and we desired for an intelligent species to rise that we could inhabit. And as conditions improved, and like I say, I remind you, there's no time in the quantum, but as time went by in the third dimension, Adam and Eve came into existence. And then began the process of three-dimensional human being making. Making love, insemination, pregnancy, and birth. And through the birth, we come. Another, and another, and another. And then thousands of years later, we think we're you. I'll say you. I'm talking to the people of 3 dimensions now. You think you're so smart that you can control time when we are the ones who created it in the first place. So, they can't take from us. They, your future children's children's children, cannot take from us what we created. They cannot take from you what you are from and what is due to you. Ascension, life in a quantum bliss. So they can try to control you in every way. And if you let them, they will. And if you don't, they won't. I'm done now, my children. Today's talk had no pointed message. I just felt I had a few things to say. Remember to watch Ancient Aliens. Call me Torac, Targus. Call me whatever. Just don't call me late for dinner. I heard James say that once. We love you all so much. We only want what's best for you. Walk with love and light. Keep your vibrations high. Co-create. Meditate. Call me what you want. Don't call me late. targusM. From the quantum, I will leave you now. Oh, light workers. Hey, everyone, this is James. What did he say? Wow, this is getting weird. I'm starting to be like in a deep hypnotic state when he speaks now. Really strange. But I love it. I'm having so much fun. It's great. It's just awesome. I'm having so much fun. Come on, light workers. Let's change the world. Thank you.